Hello everyone, I'm just going to cover some basics in TinkerCAD that's really going to help you out before you start doing all the lessons and the starters and the lessons, just to give you a little heads up about what you're going to see as you're working on those. Right now I'm just at the main screen. If you want to do this along with me, you can just pause the video and work through it as you need to, or just watch, do the starters and lessons, and try this as you're working. So I'm just at the main screen. You can always get to the main screen by pushing the TinkerCAD logo right there. I'm just going to say create a new design. You can see I have a whole bunch of student designs and stuff like that that when I'm helping students do stuff that are up there. Now, the first thing that you're going to see as you're going through here, this is your work plane. This is the main area that stuff is going to be put down on when you grab it out. Up here in the upper left, this is the view cube. You can click and maneuver this around so you can see all different sides of your object. Excuse me. Zooming in, zooming out right there. If you ever get in a weird spot, if you just click on that home view right there, you can just get right back to normal. So the first thing I want to cover, pulling stuff out from over here. So here's the box, and I know my screen is, here, let me move my camera. We'll just do this. Here's the box shape. If you pull it out, you can put it out on the work plane. That's where it gets set down at. Now I'm going to zoom in. You can also use your keyboard or your mouse trackpad to zoom in. Now, one of the tough things when you're zooming in, it zooms into the center. But on your Chromebook, you can maneuver around by holding the Control key, the Shift key, and then clicking and moving it around. So that way you can now look wherever you want to on your object. So again, that's Control, Shift, then click. So here's my box shape. If I want to make the shape bigger or smaller, these white handles and these black handles are going to do that for you. Now this cone shape one, we'll cover that in a little bit. So the white handle, it's going to move both sides at the same time. So you can see I can just kind of free move it right here. I could also just type in whatever the size I want. Now this is measured in millimeters. Every big box right here is a centimeter. Every little tiny box that you see in here are millimeters. So right now this box is 31 millimeters by 31 millimeters. I could type in a number like 50 by 45. And it will make my box that size. This white one up here, and I'm going to just turn it to the side so you can see a little bit. That's the height of the box. If I click on that one, I can drag it up and down like before, or I could just type in what I want. For example, 5. And now I made my first little object here. This little cone shape. This cone shape helps you lift things up and down off of the work plane. So right now it's set flat on the work plane. If I click on this and drag up, it goes up in the air, and I can see right here how far up in the air it is. I'm going to hit Control Z to undo. There's also an undo button right up there. Now, if at any time you're doing work in TinkerCAD and you see down here where mine says screencast-o-matic, that's the video program I'm using to make this, if it's red and it says not connected or something like that, you need to leave TinkerCAD, refresh it, because that's not going to save any of your work. So just make sure you keep your eye open for that. The next thing you'll see, we had these arrow handles here, here, and I can see another one right there. If you don't see one, just turn your view cube so you can find them. These will help turn your objects. So here's one right here, and I can turn it this way. Now, the arrows show you how it's going to rotate. Now, if I rotate close to the object, it makes big jumps. If I rotate further out, it makes small jumps, 360 degrees around. This one right here, you can see it's going to rotate more on that vertical plane. And then lastly, this one right here will tilt it this direction. So that's how you're going to use the basics right there. The next thing I want to cover with you, let's say you want to make something, so you love this size where, one side's 50, one side's 45, but you have to make it a little bit smaller, but you like the ratio that we have going on there. Good math term. If you hold the shift key as you grab that box, it will scale everything down perfectly even if your mouse goes in weird spots like mine is. It won't skew that that symmetry that it has. So the shift key will help you do that. That's the first thing I want to cover with our tutorial video right here. So we'll take a quick break and stay tuned for the